imagine this. Imagine there's two groups of men. Now the first group of men, they're wild. They call themselves the weekend warriors, right? They say things like, oh, you know, dude, you gotta live life to the full, bro. You could be hit by a bus tomorrow. So live like tonight is your last. So they celebrate their weekends by partying, getting plastered. They're the same type of guys who say things like, oh, you know, there's just no good women left these days. They're all trash. So out of spite, they just go out and F as many chicks as possible. Marriage is slavery, bro. I don't want to be tied down. I'm young. I don't want to waste my youth. I want to live life to the full. And they literally think this, dude. They think that this type of lifestyle, living for the weekend, they think this is it right here. They think that this is living life to the maximum, to the absolute full. And then come Monday morning, they wake up exhausted, feeling like crap, totally hungover, facing the reality that now they got to go back to their 9 to 5 that they absolutely hate, just hoping to make it through the week so that way they can get back to that Friday night and do it all over again, weekend warrior style. Now this other group of men, they hold themselves a little differently. They don't have like any names for themselves. They don't call themselves the mighty motivational warlords or the secret samurai swordsmen. Like, no, bro, they're not worried about any of that. They're focused. They don't even really talk much, but when they do, it's usually a piece of wisdom, maybe a compliment, or at least something of significance. These dudes, they're powerful, and girls notice them every single time they walk by. They start getting all giddy and they start saying certain things to persuade them or get their attention, but these guys don't pay them no mind. First of all, these guys, they got families back home. Ain't no way in hell they're even gonna get close enough to even allow themselves to be tempted. And unlike all the other little NPC guys out there, these dudes hold themselves like kings. They hold themselves like the high value men that they are. Now, out of these two groups, which one you join? Better yet, even better question, which group are you actually a part of? While I was telling you guys this story, it actually kind of made me think back to a conversation that my wife and I were having, and with this other guy that actually, he works out in Vegas. He works for Steve Aoki. He's a personal assistant. And so anyways, he was talking about 21 Pilots. He was like telling stories and stuff, and 21 Pilots came up and he's like, oh bro, those guys, I see those guys, quite often. Those guys are so boring. He's like, anytime they're done with a show, all they do is just go straight back to their bus to go be with their girls. They don't go out and party with any of us. They don't go out and be wild. And I'm like, bro, no, those right there, those are my dudes right there. Those are some kings, man. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's integrity. I remember before I made that transition from NPC to, more in the direction of a high value man, I guess you could say, I had to be honest with myself. I had to stop lying. And honestly, hey, for all of us men, that's step 0. Before going around thinking you're just some high level hotshot automatically just out of nowhere. No, bro, you gotta stop lying to yourself, and you gotta have that open, honest dialogue with the man in the mirror. At first, I kept denying the fact that I actually needed transformation. I kept lying to myself thinking, I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm giving my best efforts, right? But when I sat down and finally truly analyzed myself, my life, where I'm currently at, I realized that I'm far from the man that I need to be at this time in my life. So hey, check it out. Today I'm gonna go through 6 poisonous habits that are making men weak and keeping you from being the best man that you need to become. Now, most of these things, I'm just being honest with you guys, are things that I was dealing with all the way up until just last year, just 8 months ago. Crazy, wild, it's nuts how life can just drastically change when you're actually being honest with yourself and you make the decision to move, to execute, to 180 your life. Number 1, consumerism. Now, my whole life, bro, ever since I was like 8 years old up until about 29 years old last year, and a lot of you have been around that long, so you've seen me do this hands-on, but I was like a straight sneaker addict, sneakerhead, I guess you could say. I was all about the sneakers, bro, and my main goal was to walk into the gym and have at least just one dude. If I could have one dude be like, hey bro, those are fire. That was it for me. And I was like, I felt like the man. And it's just kind of funny because now I look back, I'm like, why was I so worked up about impressing men? Right? Like my goal growing up should have been to impress women, but I'm sitting here worrying about guys. Anyways, and I finally figured this out along the way. It wasn't like a decision that I made on the spot, but once I hit that rock bottom last year, like a lot of you guys know, and I decided to go all into self-improvement, bettering myself, building up my businesses, right? Building my YouTube back up and hiring guys and, kind of becoming like a little CEO guy, I guess you could say, here on YouTube, and like having a team of editors, whatever. So once I started going that route and dedicating my whole life to business and building up my empire, I realized looking back, I was like, whoa, I just realized this like actually a couple months ago. I was like, whoa, I just spent these last 6 months dedicated to this one thing, giving my life to this, to YouTube. And I realized, I was like, I haven't even worried about sneakers. I haven't even been worrying about clothing, any of those things, any of those materialistic things. And I was actually like kind of proud of myself. And then I realized, I was like, consumerism, all these materialistic things, trying to look good, trying to impress people, all that really is a result of just having too much time on your hands. I know I'm gonna offend a lot of people with this, and that's not my intention whatsoever, but it is true. If you really think about it, this is one of those things where you have to be honest with yourself. Stop lying, bro. I used to be on the Grailed app, and I would spend hours bargaining with guys to get like vintage clothing and vintage pieces, retro Jordan sneakers. And now I look back and I'm just like, bro, I could never do that now. I don't have enough time. I got so many responsibilities and things to do on a daily basis right now. That's the last thing on my mind. Consumerism is straight up just a lack of purpose. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you can never buy anything special or anything nice. I'm not saying that. Like just the other day, I got irritated because all my hoodies are kind of like cheapy, bad fabric. So I bought myself a Fear of God hoodie. It was $100. I spent some good money on it so that way it could last me a lifetime. But other than that, bro, I'm just like rocking these just basic tees now. I'm not worried about like any vintage, any like anything special, any special drops. And that's simply because, yeah, I do want to look good, but my main focus now is purpose. And check this out. This goes perfectly in line. I think this will speak to you. So I heard this from Artistic Motivation. They said, if your mom gave you $5 to go out and buy a gallon of milk that also costed $5, what would you do? You would buy that gallon of milk and then you would just head straight home after, right? Because you don't have no more money to spend. There's nothing else to do. You had a direct purpose in mind and your budget limited you. You literally couldn't afford anything else. So you need to apply this same mindset to your life. Have a direct purpose that literally leaves you no time to spend on pointless things that are just gonna end up in your next garage sale in 6 months. Number 2, having a high body count. Now I know I'm gonna have a lot of guys come up on here rolling their eyes like, Dre, come on. We live in modern times now. This is just what men do. Hookup culture, right? This is what we all do. It's fine. Don't even worry about it. And this right here, this is the whole ideology, the whole concept that culture has constantly just embedded in our heads time and time again to where we actually truly believe that this is like the way to go. It's crazy. I just saw this post the other day of this guy saying, oh, you know, I really think that all men, they should not get married young. Instead, they should only get married when they're 35 and make sure that they've at least slept with 50 women by then. I heard this and I was like, bro, that's your best advice? Are you kidding me, my guy? That is a terrible recipe. That is not how you build up responsibility and character as a man. Just sleep with a whole bunch of chicks first before you settle down. I don't know where like we got lost here and where this ideology has been taken as good advice. Check it out, bro. Listen to me here. This is so important. Anything you do in your teens and especially in your 20s, this shapes your character as a man for the rest of your life. If you think that you first need to have sex with at least 50, 100, 200 women, if you think that that is going to shape your character and build you up as the man that you need to become, that God's calling you to become, you are madly mistaken, my brother. We always talk about here on this channel, you know, becoming the top 1% man. Well, guess what? This is what 99% of men are doing. So if you're just doing the same thing as what they are, you are not a 1% man. This right here is a modern day culture standard that you need to flee and stay far away from. Bro, honestly, I did everything opposite of this. I found my wife, my very best friend early on, which I was, you know, I am grateful for, and that is kind of like a rare thing. But even though I found her early on, bro, I took on that responsibility. While all my other friends were going out there, getting wild, getting crazy, hooking up with chicks, being degenerates, I decided that, you know what, I'm gonna man up and I'm gonna become the best husband that I can be. I'm gonna honor God, honor family, and therefore that shaped me now into the man that I am today. While all my friends are now out there, out in the world, just lost, broken, have no direction in their life, I'm here, bro, with an amazing wife. I'm getting ready to start a family soon with her. I've got this empire here on YouTube, this brotherhood, this community that we all share. And I know this contradicts all the red pill stuff out there on the internet, but hey, I didn't go out there. I didn't do any of those degenerate things. And now I'm literally the most happiest guy on the planet. I can promise you that. Number 3, hedonism, the pursuit of pleasure. It's sad, bro, because you see so many men these days that have become so lazy, so lackadaisical, that care more about taking the weekend off, enjoying their 3-day Memorial weekend type of thing versus attacking the week, being passionate, being vibrant about their dreams, about their goals, about building an empire up for their family, right? And it's wild, bro, because these men, they complain about their lives, yet when it comes down to it, they always say things like, well, you know, it's just because like, I just don't have the time, right? Or they'll say say things like, okay, I'll get to it later type of thing. Or they'll even say things like, it's just not me, you know? And then they just settle and live this less than mediocre life. And the truth is, bro, is that they're literally in love with the same life that they complain about. I heard this message the other day about a zoo, for instance, and this is crazy because it relates so much to us men. All the animals that you see in the zoo, I mean, yeah, they're comfortable. Yeah, they get food delivered to them every single day. They don't have to actually go out and hunt or work for it. And yeah, there's no risk, you know, they don't have to be aware of any predators or anything like that coming in. But at the end of the day, they're unhappy. They're caged up. They don't want to live this comfortable lifestyle. They want to go out there and be free, be in the wild. And that right there is how us men, that's how we operate. We are only our truest, most happiest self when we're going out there, taking risks, living wild and living free. Number 4, pessimism. If we're being real with each other, this is something that we all deal with. I know this is something, even me, no matter how much I progress in life, I still always get these pessimistic thoughts trying to come in and attack my mind, try to take me down, try to take my joy every single day, bro. And this is kind of like another message that I want to speak to you guys on. Maybe I'll do it in a future video. But that's the thing right there, is that all these men want success and they think that that's going to be their saving grace if they just make more money, have the most amazing chick, the most amazing cars, most amazing houses, possessions, all that stuff. They think that right there is going to bring them ultimate happiness. But even that right there, no matter how much you scale up, no matter how much success you get, how much progression, you're still always going to be attacked. Pessimistic thoughts are always going to try and creep in and tell you lies, tell you things like, well, this is probably not going to last forever. Well, you're probably going to go down tomorrow. Well, enjoy it now because it's all going to be gone next year. And honestly, this is what I deal with, bro. Just being real. These last 8 months, even though I've progressed so much, it's almost like the pessimistic thoughts come on even stronger. It's almost like I'm waiting for something bad to happen. So this is my biggest advice to you, bro. You got to constantly counterattack this. Anytime you have a negative thought, start implementing positive ones. For every one, counterattack it with three positive thoughts. And if you're having trouble having positive thoughts, much like I deal with, you know, sometimes just being real, it's hard to even have a positive thought when you're feeling low, then hey, at least have no thoughts. How about that one? Sometimes if I'm feeling low and I can't think of a positive thought, I'll just turn off my brain. Let's have no thoughts and let's just keep going anyways. Let's just keep moving forward anyways. Sometimes as a man, if your freaking brain's not working, then you just got to turn it off and just keep moving forward. And now this kind of goes along with number 5. Stop talking behind people's back. I know, hey, if we're being real, you got to be real. This is one of those other things, bro, where you stop lying.
Stop the cap.
Don't lie to yourself. We all do this. I've caught myself hundreds, thousands of times doing this, talking behind people's backs. A lot of us even do this when there's just like nothing to talk about. If there's awkward silence, oh, hey, did you hear about so-and-so? And so one thing that I've been trying to implement, and I'm actually getting pretty good at this now, this is something I want you to practice. If you ever catch yourself talking an ill word on somebody, counterattack it with 3 positive things about that person. And check this out, when that person, because eventually that person's gonna get word of what you said about them, whether negative or positive. But once they get back word that you said this, and that about them that's positive about them, this is gonna build up the way people see you. This is gonna build up your integrity. Just the other day, bro, real quick story. My dad, I got word, I was talking to some guy I met on the street, and he's like, hey, aren't you the YouTuber kid, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, blah, blah. So we started talking, and he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I actually met your dad. He's like, dude, that guy's the best, man. He always talks so highly of you. He's the one who actually showed me your YouTube channel, got me subscribed, all this and this and that. And I was just like, oh man, that's cool, man. It made me feel good, right? And it honestly made me look up to my dad with even more respect now. It even put him like on an even higher tier for me and how I viewed him. And the last one, number 6, high body fat. Now I'm kind of going into a different direction with this one. This one's more of a physical thing, but this right here is a poisonous habit, bro, that not only diseases your body, but it'll start to disease your mind as well. If you want to stay sharp, if you want to stay laser focused, you can't have a high body fat. You can't be constantly putting crap into your body that's going to make you put on that excess weight, that excess fat. And check this out, most people will never tell you this. Nobody wants you to know this. The governments don't want you to know, health specialists, nobody. Most diseases don't even necessarily come from what you eat, but it comes from how much you eat. It actually comes from just excess body fat. Literally, the more higher your body fat percentage is, the more likely you are to have a disease or catch something. And hey, check this out, bro. I don't know if I can say this on YouTube. I might get canceled for this, but whatever. Let's just roll with it. So check it out. I can't even say the name of it. When Schmovid happened, you guys know what I'm talking about. So when that happened, it wasn't necessarily the disease, the virus that took people out. It was the people that already had problems going on to begin with. They already had inflammation in the body. They were overweight. They were maybe already had some little diseases going on to begin with. And this is not in all cases, but in most cases, they were finding out that when they got the disease, all the virus really did was just intensify what was already going on within their body. So if they would have been just healthy to begin with, if they would have been nice and lean and in shape, more than likely they would have been okay. And people might have still had their loved ones. Families wouldn't have lost their dads. This is something you got to keep in mind, bro. You got to be ready. This is why it's so important to be in shape. Despite the fact that, yeah, you'll be sharper, you'll be more on point, you'll be a little bit more laser focused. Yeah, you'll also be more attractive to women as well, which is a huge plus. But even on top of all that, you'll be ready. You'll be strong. If anything like a COVID or something happens, you can fight. Ain't nobody out here, bro, want to lose a son. Ain't nobody out here want to lose a brother, a father. Ain't nobody out here want to lose you, my dude. So stay healthy, stay fit, stay low in body fat. With that said, hey, appreciate you for watching. Please give this video a nice big thumbs up. Hit the notifications button to be informed when I drop a new one. And check out this video right here. It's a powerful one. And I'll catch you on the next one, my brother. Peace always.